Tank, what's your prediction of your upcoming fight with Lamont Roach?
He's gonna sleep for sure. Soften him up, then fry him.
Gervonta Davis views himself as an unstoppable force in boxing, a true champion and knockout specialist who has taken down every challenger in his path. But during their latest face-off, Lamont Roach didn't flinch.
Yeah. Tank all day, man. Tank all day. He's a word. He's a word.
Roach looked past the confidence and saw a fighter whose self-belief borders on overconfidence. With their fight set for March 1st at New York's Barclays Center, Davis's mindset is just as powerful as his dangerous left hand. His confidence has been a hot topic in boxing for months, especially with his recent declaration that he plans to retire by the end of the year despite some contradictions. That statement alone has only added more fuel to the fire.
It's thrown away now.
That's cool. At the end of the day, I got one goal. It's only gonna be one winner. That's gonna be me. Whether you gonna lay down, you gonna get down, or you gonna lay down.
Some fans are eager to see how Davis wraps up his career, while others are frustrated with his choice of opponents. Lamont Roach Jr. is the latest fighter critics claim is just another easy matchup for Tank. With top talents like Shakur Stevenson, DAZN Davis, and Raymond Muratalla waiting for their shot, many question why Davis hasn't taken on a bigger challenge to secure his legacy. Addressing the criticism head-on, Davis sat down with fellow Baltimore native Jay Hill, offering a rare glimpse into a different side of him.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog, and he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together.
Davis was blunt, unfiltered, and didn't hold back. Skill. For skill, none of these guys can mess with me. Nobody, he said with complete confidence. In his mind, he's already leagues above the entire lightweight division. Then he took it a step further, making a bold comparison that some saw as disrespectful. My skills are way better than Floyd's. Like, if I'm on my game, well, yeah. I take that back, probably hand to hand. It didn't take long for him to second guess his words, realizing the controversy they might spark. While Davis has always respected and been mentored by Floyd Mayweather, their relationship has been complicated. Comparisons to Floyd are inevitable, but claiming he surpassed his former mentor definitely raised some eyebrows.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look, he looked at
Nah, I'm telling him, you saying you going down in a night?
Davis's confidence hasn't gone unchallenged. Lamont Roach fired back, saying Davis was getting ahead of himself. Roach, who sees himself as the next WBA lightweight champion, has been training relentlessly for this fight. Being labeled the underdog doesn't bother him, it fuels him. Adding to the debate, Terrence Crawford, known for his sharp boxing mind, weighed in on Davis's vulnerabilities. He believes only two fighters, Shakur Stevenson and DAZN Davis, have what it takes to truly expose Tank's weaknesses. With the fight approaching, the stage is set. But despite the growing criticism, Davis remains locked in on his image as an unbeatable force.
And I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother.
Yeah. Confidence doesn't always mean perfection. While Davis's knockout power is undeniable, some of his technical skills don't get the same attention. He's known for his aggressive punching, but critics argue that his defense, head movement, and overall ring control still have room for improvement. Even Excellency Turki Alalshik, a key figure in the boxing world, shared his thoughts in a recent conversation with Mike Coppinger. He didn't hold back, saying, "Gervonta Davis is an outstanding in-fighter, but he needs to step up his competition." According to Alalshik, facing opponents like Shakur Stevenson, DAZN Davis, or Raymond Muratalla is the only way Tank can cement his legacy as one of boxing's all-time greats.
Gervonta Davis just said in a new interview that Lamont Roach Jr. is more skilled than Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin.
He more skillful than Ryan Garcia? Yes. Skill-wise, he hit harder than Ryan Garcia? I don't know. Skill-wise, he's better than Frank.
Isaac Cruz's name always finds its way into these discussions. Despite lacking elite technical skills, Cruz managed to go the full 12 rounds with Davis, proving that Tank wasn't untouchable. That fight cracked some of the aura of invincibility surrounding him. If Cruz could withstand Davis's power, what would happen if Tank faced an opponent with top-tier skills and strategy? It's a question fans are eager to see answered, but Davis's choice of opponents has kept the mystery alive. His greatest asset, or his biggest weakness, might be his ability to self-reflect. In moments of confidence, he may overlook flaws that sharper eyes can see. And if Lamont Roach steps into the ring on March 1st with the right game plan, the boxing world could witness an upset no one expected.
50 is what Tank and Frank did, and Frank wasn't a champion. Roach has been around. He lost to Jamel Herring. He came back from defeat to be a world champ. I think it'll do a good 450, 500.
I think it does.
Lamont Roach Jr. isn't stepping into the ring on March 1st just for a payday. He's coming to settle an old score. With his fight against Gervonta Tank Davis fast approaching, Roach has made it clear this isn't just about a title, it's personal. He's been carrying the weight of past defeats for over a decade. Back in 2011, as young amateurs, Davis and Roach faced off twice. Both times, Davis walked away victorious, leaving Roach to dwell on those losses. Now, with the WBA lightweight title on the line, Roach is determined to rewrite history, and he's not afraid to use any platform to send his message. On Valentine's Day, what started as a playful social media jab quickly turned into a viral back and forth. Roach posted a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. March 1st sounds like, and the new. A bold declaration that he was coming for Davis's title. Davis never one to back down, fired right back with his own twist. Roses are red, violets are blue. March 1st sounds like, don't worry baby, you'll be home soon from the hospital.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the, what's the name? He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on his hand. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say it's cap? And it gotta be gonna say it's cap. I'm watching them.
The back and forth only intensified the anticipation for a fight that has been over a decade in the making. Both men understand what's on the line: pride, legacy, and the championship belt. Despite the social media hype, not everyone is convinced that Roach is the one to dethrone Davis. Boxing legend Terrence Crawford recently shared his thoughts with Fight Hype, expressing doubt about Roach's chances. Crawford suggested that Roach might struggle to withstand the mental pressure of facing a fighter like Davis. They might have a little skill here and there, Crawford said, but mentally, they're not going to be able to keep it up that whole fight.
Undefeated, and what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at. All right, I'll welcome him.
And let's be real, Davis's record speaks for itself. With 30 wins and 28 knockouts, he's dominated opponents and left a trail of big names behind him, including Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin. But Roach isn't focused on numbers. He's preparing to neutralize Davis's strengths, one punch and one mental edge at a time. He knows that Davis thrives on breaking opponents mentally before finishing them physically, and he plans to flip the script. Instead of reacting to everything Davis does, Roach is determined to stay composed and stick to his own game plan. For him, the motivation is simple: legacy and a life-changing moment. The biggest motivations for this fight are being able to show I'm really one of the best fighters in the world, Roach said.
It'd be like, I don't know, it'd be little clips, like you see how like man him was talking and then somebody else talked like his crew. That's what get me up. Like that's what make me like, I always want to prove to somebody that I'm like they.
And after a win, Roach knows his life and his family's will change drastically for the better. It's a simple but powerful statement. He's not just fighting for himself. He's fighting for his family, his city, and the respect he believes he's been denied. Beating Davis wouldn't just be a big win, it would be career defining. It would elevate him from a solid contender to a household name. That's why Roach has been pushing himself harder than ever in camp. His sparring partners have been carefully selected to replicate Davis's style, testing him with speed, power, and relentless pressure. So far, he's been holding his own. The focus, movement, defense, and keeping the fight in the center of the ring. Roach knows standing still against Davis is a recipe for disaster, so he's training to stay elusive while landing sharp counters. His father and trainer, Lamont Roach Sr., has played a crucial role in keeping him mentally locked in. A no-nonsense coach, he blocks out the media buzz and keeps the camp focused on execution, not outside opinions. Psychologically, Roach understands he has to be in Davis's face from the opening bell. Davis feeds off opponents' fear and hesitation, but Roach refuses to give him that advantage.
I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont. Like I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a real good fight.
The plan is simple. Stay calm, stay sharp, and prove to Davis that intimidation isn't a factor. If Roach can execute that, he has a real shot at breaking down the psychological walls Davis builds around his opponents. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis has been keeping fans guessing with his unpredictable moves and cryptic statements. Over the past few months, the Baltimore native has made eyebrow-raising comments about his career, throwing his supporters into a state of uncertainty. The confusion started on Christmas Eve when Davis dropped a bombshell out of nowhere. He claimed his highly anticipated showdown with Roach was canceled. No explanation, no follow-up statement, just a social media post that left the boxing world scratching its head.
Talk to me about the mental preparation going to this fight with Lamont. Fans, they kind of sleeping on Lamont, but you know Lamont's fighting style. Y'all fought.
Yeah, people don't know him, but Lamont is a good fighter. Like he ain't no slouch. Like I fought him in the amateurs. Like
naturally, fans jumped to conclusions, speculating that this might be another one of Tank's infamous meltdowns. Davis has always been unpredictable, but this felt different. The timing was strange, and with no confirmation from his team, it seemed like he was once again throwing a wrench into his own plans. Just when it looked like the fight might slip through everyone's fingers, Lamont Roach and his father, Lamont Sr., stepped in to clear the air. They quickly reassured fans that the fight was still on for its scheduled date. The situation could have easily spiraled into chaos, but both fighters managed to keep their focus on the upcoming showdown. Despite the brief confusion, the momentum never wavered. Now, both Roach and Davis are fully locked in for their March 1st, 2025 bout at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
There's a rematch clause, people, so get ready for 2 fights. But, yes, and after I beat him the second time, I probably would ask the WBA to let me go up to 140 and fight Raya.
Roach, for his part, was just as baffled as everyone else when the cancellation rumors started swirling. While fans on social media panicked, he refused to get caught up in the drama. During a recent Q&A session on his YouTube channel, Roach addressed the situation with his usual calm demeanor. When a fan asked, why did people say the fight was canceled or that you pulled out? Roach simply smiled and explained his side of things. Gervonta Davis is like a wild card, Roach said. You never know what he's going to do next. The 29-year-old Washington native admitted that Davis's unpredictability is something he's had to learn to deal with over the years. But rather than letting the rumors shake him, Roach stayed locked in, focusing only on what he can control. Well, Chris, same.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's gonna go. Tank gonna be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's gonna download the data. Then he gonna knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he gonna do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's gonna get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's wife, and say, "Who do you want next?" And Tank's gonna say, "I want all those guys." And they're gonna go to the press conference.
Roach has seen it all in his own journey, and he's not about to let Davis's eccentricities throw him off course. He knows Tank well enough to understand that Davis moves to his own rhythm, often making decisions that don't seem to make sense from the outside. Whether it's an emotional tweet or a cryptic post, Davis thrives on keeping people guessing. But Roach isn't bothered by the mental gymnastics Tank puts the boxing world through. For him, it's business as usual. He has a fight to prepare for, and nothing is going to distract him from that goal. The mental aspect of boxing is just as important as the physical, and Roach is staying sharp for the biggest challenge of his career. "I don't let that stuff affect me," Roach said. It's clear he's not about to get wrapped up in the drama or the rumors. Instead, he's channeling all his energy into preparation, knowing that beating Davis would change everything. His career, his life, and his legacy. But for now, he's keeping his eyes on the prize, letting all the outside noise roll off his back.
No one's been able to solve Tank Davis. What do you need to do together with you and your team, and obviously your son, to score that victory?
We got a game plan. We're gonna execute it, and we're gonna get the results.
Move that head, bob and weave, bob and weave.
As the countdown to their showdown in Brooklyn continues, Roach is as locked in as ever. His camp is in full swing, and he's preparing for Davis with laser focus. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis looks sharp and ready, already close to his fighting weight, unlike some fighters such as Kesson Davis, who often carries extra weight during camp before cutting down to 135 lbs. Tank stays lean and prepared. While Kesson sometimes looks more like a welterweight before trimming down, Davis doesn't rely on drastic weight cuts to gain an edge. He's a natural lightweight, not someone looking to game the system by shedding pounds at the last minute.
It's gonna be a party on your
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the, what's his name? He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say it's cap? It gotta be. Gonna say it's cap.
Interestingly, Tank's longtime trainer Calvin Ford has been noticeably absent lately, sparking speculation that the two may have parted ways. Ford has been a key figure in Davis's corner for years, so his disappearance hasn't gone unnoticed by fans and insiders alike. Leonard Ellerby, who knows Davis well, recently weighed in on the situation during a conversation on The Laboratory, with Plaz. Ellerby also reflected on Davis's recent announcement that he plans to retire after 3 more fights, saying he understands the mindset behind it. "I can understand where he's coming from. Things are different when you have kids. It changes your life. It completely changes your life," Ellerby said.
My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you,
they gonna celebrate with me. Yeah,
don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's his name? He was shaking on the
Pops.
On my kids.
Ellerby also pointed out that Tank sees things differently than he did 6 or 7 years ago. If that's what he said, that he's retiring, then we all heard him. No, not at all. It's never good enough what you do, and sometimes that can be frustrating, he explained. He added that the pressure from fans and the constant demand for more fights can take a toll on a fighter. There's more to life than something you do for a living. You have respect for fans who pay their money to see you fight, but you have a life outside of boxing. They want you to continue to do this, and they really don't care about your health afterward. You seize on.
What? Who said that? You said what? You said what?
Yeah, that's why I've been waiting for the niggas to talk. How much you want back? How much you want it back? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much you want back? Just cut it out. Huh? 100? That's a...
Ellerby acknowledged the brutal nature of boxing and how it impacts a fighter's long-term health. He emphasized that while fans love to see action-packed fights, they don't always consider the toll it takes on a fighter's body. The future may look bright for Tank, but it's also packed with hungry competitors, ERUPTS said, referring to rising stars like Andy Cruz, Edwin De Los Santos, and Kesson Davis. These guys are all chasing him, and Tank knows it. These aren't easy fights. If he's confident he can beat them, he also knows those battles will be grueling. At this stage in his career, Davis may not want to endure the extreme effort required for such high-stakes matchups. ERUPTS suggested that Tank's recent talk of retirement could be influenced by the reality of what it takes to stay at the top in such a demanding sport.
Who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get them. I'ma beat his ass.
He can't do shit with.
For real. So y'all better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all was quiet, if y'all was live.
They got the Hollywood over there. Like, twisted up. I don't give a fuck.
ERUPTS acknowledged the harsh realities of boxing, pointing out how many fighters in the past were taken advantage of, suffered long-term health issues, and faced permanent consequences from the sport. Boxing is a brutal sport. You see a lot of fighters from before. They were taken advantage of in a lot of different ways. They went through a lot of health issues, a lot of permanent stuff, ERUPTS said. I understand the philosophy that you come into the sport, make your mark, and then you leave it at that. Everybody's opinion is different, and everybody has different goals in life. With Davis's retirement announcement hanging over everything, the big question remains, will it actually be permanent? ERUPTS hinted that Tank might not be done for good, given his massive popularity and the kind of money he attracts. A return could be inevitable. It's hard to ignore how popular Davis is, and the kind of money he can attract. If the right offer comes along in 6 to 12 months, it wouldn't be surprising to see him make a return, ERUPTS noted. A massive payday, especially against a high-profile opponent, could easily lure Tank back into the ring.
Beat his ass.
He can't do shit with.
For real. I better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all was quiet, if y'all was loud.
They got the Hollywood over there. Like, twisted up. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Do whatever y'all want. My mother, he can't stop nothing over here.
None of that.
Not at all.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna f him up.
Not at all. Never. Nothing.
Roach, a current champion at 130 lbs, is stepping up in weight to take on Davis. Despite being seen as the underdog, he has the skills and confidence to make things interesting. Davis, who hasn't fought since his 8th round knockout of Frank Martin in June 2024, knows he can't afford to be complacent. He's promised to be in peak condition for every fight leading up to his retirement. I'm making sure that I do what I'm supposed to so I can be the best that I can, Davis vowed. Whether he's facing Roach, Stevenson, Haney, or anyone else, Davis seems determined to go out on top. Fans will be watching closely to see if he can cement his legacy with a few more unforgettable performances before hanging up his gloves for good. How do you think this fight will play out? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.